Good evening. Welcome to NPAC and tonight's production of Our Town, generously made possible by the School of Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences, the Rensselaer Union, the RPI Players, and Seattle Horticulture. Please take this time to silence your cell phones, and we ask that you please refrain from flash photography. Please be aware of the emergency exits. One is located behind you, where you entered, and another is located through the door to your left. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Thanks, Mark.
This play is called Our Town. It was written by Thornton Wilder, produced by Nick Karalexis, directed by Rebecca Rouse, with techno magic by Mark DeStefano. In it, you will see Mr. Rando and Miss Turner, Miss Dean and Mr. Johnson, Mr. Blum, and Mr. Spurrier, and many more. The name of our town is Grover's Corners, New Hampshire, just across the Massachusetts state line, Latitude 42 degrees, 40 minutes. Longitude 70 degrees, 37 minutes. The first act shows a day in our town. The day, May 7th, 1901. The time, just before dawn. The sky is beginning to show some streaks of light over in the east there, behind our mountain. The morning star always gets wonderful bright the minute before it has to go, doesn't it? Well, I better show you how our town lies. Up here is Main Street. Way back there is the railway station. The tracks run that way. Polish towns across the tracks, and some Canuck families too. Over there is the Congregational Church. Across the street's the Presbyterian. Methodist and Unitarian are over there. The Baptist is down in the hollow by the river. The Catholic Church is over by the tracks. Right here is our town hall and post office combined. A jail's in the basement. Brian once made a speech from these very steps here. Along here's a row of stores, hitching posts and horse blocks in front of them. First automobile's gonna come along in about 5 years. Belonged to banker Cartwright, our richest citizen, lives in the big white house up on the hill. Here is the grocery store, and here is Mr. Morgan's drugstore. Most everybody in town manages to look into those two stores once a day. The public school is over yonder. The high school's still farther over. 9:15 mornings, noon times, and 3 o'clock afternoons, the whole town can hear the yelling and screaming from those schoolyards. And this is our doctor's house. And this is the back door. There's some scenery, for those of you as think they have to have scenery. And this is Mrs. Gibbs's garden. Corn, peas, beans, hollyhocks, heliotrope, and a lot of burdock. In those days, our town newspaper come out twice a week, the Grover's Corner Sentinel. And this is Editor Webb's house. And this is Mrs. Webb's garden. Just like Mrs. Gibbs, only a lot of sunflowers too. And right here is a big butternut tree. Nice town. Know what I mean? No one very remarkable ever come out of it, so far as we know. The oldest names in the gravestones up there in the cemetery read 1670, 1680, and they're Grovers and Cartwrights and Gibbses and Herseys, same names as are around here now. So, as I said, it's about dawn. The only lights on in town are in a cottage over by the tracks where a Polish mother's just had twins. Oh, and in the Joe Kroll house where Joe Jr. is getting up so as to deliver the morning paper. Oh, and in the depot where Shorty Hawkins is getting ready to flag down the 545 for Boston. Naturally, out in the countryside, all around, there have been lights on for some time, what with milkings and so on, but town people sleep late. So, another day's begun. There's Doc Gibbs coming down Main Street, coming back from that baby case, and here's his wife coming downstairs to get breakfast. Doc Gibbs died in 1930. The new hospital's named after him. His wife died first, of course, died a long time ago, in fact, but went out to visit her daughter Rebecca, who had married an insurance man in Canton, Ohio, and died there, pneumonia. But her body was brought back here. She's up there now, in with a whole mess of Gibbses and Herseys. She was Julia Hersey before she married Doc Gibbs in the Congregational Church over there. In our town, we like to know the facts about everyone. There's Mrs. Gibbs coming downstairs to get her breakfast, too. And here's Joe Kroll, delivering Editor Webb's Sentinel.
Morning, Doc Gibbs.
Morning, Joe.
Somebody been sick, Doc?
Nope. Pair of twins born over in Polish town.
Do you want your paper now?
Yes, I'll take it. Anything serious going on in the world since Wednesday?
Yes, sir. My school teacher, Miss Foster, is getting married to a fella over in Concord.
I declare. And how do you boys feel about that?
Well, of course it's none of my business, but I think if somebody starts out to be a teacher, she ought to stay that way.
How me, Joe?
Fine, Doc. I never think about it at all. Only, like you said, it always tells me when it's gonna rain.
And what's it telling you today? Going to rain?
No, sir.
You sure?
Yes.
Me ever make a mistake?
No, sir.
I want to tell you something about that Joe Kroll boy there. Joe was awful bright. Graduated from high school here, first in his class. So, he got a scholarship to Massachusetts Tech. Graduated first in his class, too. It was all wrote up in the Boston papers at the time. Gonna be a great engineer, Joe was. And then the war broke out, and he died in France. All that education for nothing.
Get up, Bessie. What's the matter with you today?
There's Howie Newsom delivering the morning milk.
Morning, Doc.
Morning, Howie.
Somebody sick?
Pair twins over to Mrs. Goroslowski.
Twins, eh? This town's getting bigger every year.
Going to rain, Howie?
Nah, fine day. This'll burn through. Come on, Bessie.
Hello, Bessie. How old is she, Howie?
Going on 17. Bessie's all mixed up about the route ever since the Lockharts stopped taking their quart of milk every day. Want to leave them their quart just the same. Keeps scolding me the whole trip.
Morning, Howie.
Morning, Mrs. Gibbs. Doc's just coming down the street.
Oh, is he? Seems like you're late today.
Yeah, something went wrong with the separator. Don't know what it was. Doc.
Howie.
Children, time to get up. George, Rebecca. So everything all right, Frank?
Yes, I declare, easy as kittens.
Sit down and drink your coffee. Bacon will be ready in a minute. You can catch a couple hours of sleep this morning, can't you?
Mrs. Wentworth's coming at 11. Guess I know what it's about, too. Her stomach ain't what it ought to be.
We're all told you won't get more than 3 hours of sleep. Frank Gibbs, I don't know what's going to become of you. I do wish I could get you to go away someplace and take a rest. I think it would do you good.
Emily, time to get up. Wally, it's 7 o'clock.
I declare, you've got to speak to George. Seems like something's come over him lately. He's no help to me at all. I can't even get him to cut me some wood.
Is he sassy to you?
No, he just whines. All he thinks about is that baseball. George, Rebecca, you'll be late for school. George?
George looks sharp. Yes, Pa? Don't you hear your mother calling you? Guess I'll go upstairs and get 40 winks.
Emily, Wally, you'll be late for school. Wally, you better wash yourself good or I'll come up there and do it myself.
Mom, what dress shall I wear?
Don't make a noise. Your father's been out all night and needs his rest. I washed and ironed the blue gingham for you special.
Ma, I hate that dress.
Oh, hush up with you.
Every day I go to school dressed like a sick turkey.
Now, Rebecca, you always look very nice.
Mama, George's throwing soap at me.
Oh, I'll come up and stop the both of you. That's what I'll do.
There's a factory in our town, too. Makes blankets, the Cartwrights own it, and it brought them a fortune.
Children, now I won't have it. Breakfast is just as good as any other meal and I won't have you gobbling like wolves. It'll stunt your growth, that's a fact. Put away your book, Wally.
But Ma, by 10 o'clock I gotta know all about Canada.
You knows the rules as well as I do. No books at table.
As for me, I'd rather have my children healthy than bright.
I'm both, Mama. You know I am. I'm the brightest girl in school for my age. I have a wonderful memory.
Eat your breakfast.
I'm bright too, but I'm looking at my stamp collection.
I'll speak to your father about it when he's rested. Seems to me 25 cents a week's enough for a boy your age. I declare I don't know how you spend it all.
Ma, I got a lot of things to buy.
Strawberry phosphates, that's what you spend it on.
I don't see how Rebecca comes to have so much money. I bet she has more than $1.
I've been saving it up gradual.
Well, dear, I think it's a good thing to spend some every now and then.
Mama, do you know what I love most in the world, do you? Money.
Not your breakfast.
That's the first I don't want to wait.
All right, well, walk fast, but you don't have to run. Wally, pull your pants up at the knee. And stand up straight, Emily.
Tell Miss Foster I sent her my best congratulations. Can you remember that?
Yes, Mom.
You look real nice, Rebecca. Pick up your feet.
Bye. See ya.
Here, chick, chick, chick. Don't go away, you. Go away. Here, chick, chick, chick. What's the matter with you? Fight, fight, fight. That's all you do. Well, you don't belong to me. Where did you come from? Don't be scared. Nobody's gonna hurt you. Morning, Myrtle. How's your cold?
Well, I still get that tickling feeling in my throat. I told Charles I didn't know as I'd go to choir practice tonight wouldn't be any use.
Well, have you tried singing over your voice?
Well, yes, but somehow I can't do that and stay on the key. While I'm resting myself, I thought I'd string some of these beans.
Let me help you. Beans have been good this year.
I've decided to put up 40 chords if it kills me. The children say they hate them, but I notice they're able to get them down all winter.
Now, Myrtle, I've got to tell you something, because if I don't tell somebody, I'll burst.
Oh, why, Julia Gibbs.
Hand me some more of those beans. Myrtle, did one of those secondhand furniture men from Boston come to see you last Friday?
No.
Well, he called on me. First, I thought he was a patient wanting to see Dr. Gibbs, and he wormed his way into my parlor, and Myrtle Webb, he offered me $350 for grandmother Morris Highboy as I'm sitting here.
Julia Gibbs.
Mhm, he did. That old thing. Why, it was so big, I almost didn't know where to put it. Almost gave it to cousin Hester Wilcox.
Well, you're going to take it, aren't you?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know. $350? What's come over you?
Well, if I could get the doctor to take the money and go away someplace on a real trip, I'd sell it like that. You know, Myrtle, it's been the dream of my life to see Paris, France. Well, I don't know, it sounds crazy, I suppose, but for years I've been promising myself that if we ever had a chance.
And how does the doctor feel about it?
Well, I did beat around the bush a little and said if I got a legacy, that's the way I put it, I'd make him take me somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And what did he say?
You know how he is. I haven't heard a serious word out of him since I've known him. No, he says, it might make him discontented with Grover's Corners to go traipsing about Europe. Better let well enough alone, he says. You know, every 2 years he goes down to the battlefields of the Civil War, and that's enough treat for anybody, he says.
Well, Mr. Webb just admires the way Doc Gibbs knows everything about the Civil War. Mr. Webb's half a mind to give up Napoleon and move over to the Civil War. Only Doc Gibbs, being one of the greatest experts in the country, just makes him despair.
Oh, it's a fact. Dr. Gibbs is never as happy as when he's at Antietam or Gettysburg. The times I've walked over those hills, Myrtle, stopping at every bush and pasting it all out like we were gonna buy it.
Well, if that second-hand man's serious about buying it, Julia, you sell it. And then you'll get to see Paris, all right? Just keep dropping hints from time to time. That's how I got to see the Atlantic Ocean, you know.
Oh, sorry I mentioned it. You know, only it seems to me that once in your life, before you die, you ought to see a country where they don't talk in English and they don't even want to.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you very much. Now, we want a little more information about the town. A sort of scientific account, if you will. So, I've asked Professor Willard of the State University to come and sketch in a few details about our past history here. Is Professor Willard here?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Willard of the State University. Oh, a few brief notes.
Grover's Corners. Let me see. Grover's Corners lies on the old Pleistocene granite of the Appalachian Range. It is crossed by a shelf of Devonian basalt with some vestiges of Mesozoic shale and some sandstone outcroppings. But that, of course, is much more recent, 200, 300 million years. Some highly interesting fossils have been found. I may say unique fossils. 2 miles out of town, in Silas Peckham's cow pasture. They may be seen at any time at the museum in our university. That is, at any reasonable time, of course. Would you like me to read some of Professor Gruber's notes on the meteorological situation, mean precipitation,
Oh,
etc.?
no, we shouldn't have time for that, Professor. Perhaps a few words on the history of man here?
Anthropological data, yes. Yes. Early Amerindian stock, Cotahuasi tribe. No evidence before the 10th century of this era. Now, entirely disappeared. Some traces in 3 local families. migration toward the end of the 17th century of English brachiocephalic blue-eyed stock, for the most part. Since then, some Slav, Mediterranean.
And the population, Professor?
Within the town limits, 2,640.
Oh, just a minute, Professor.
Yes, of course. Yes. The population at the moment is 2,642. The postal district adds 507, making a total of 3,149. Mortality and birth rates constant. By McPherson's gauge, 6.032.
Thank you, Professor. We're all very much obliged to you, I'm sure.
Not at all, sir.
Oh, Professor, this way.
Yeah.
And thank you again. Now, for the political and social report, Editor Webb. Oh, Mr. Webb.
Oh, he'll be here in just a minute. He just cut his hand while he was eating an apple.
Thank you, Mrs. Webb.
Charles, everybody's waiting.
Mr. Webb is editor and publisher of the Grover's Corner Sentinel. And that's our local paper, you know.
Hello. Well, I don't have to tell you that we're run here by a board of selectmen. All males vote at the age of 21. Women vote indirect. We're lower middle class, sprinkling of professional men, 10% illiterate laborers. Politically, we're 86% Republican, 6% Democrat, 4% Socialist, rest indifferent. Religiously, we're 85% Protestant, 12% Catholic, rest indifferent.
Have you any comments, Mr. Webb?
It's a very ordinary town, if you ask me. A little better behaved than most. Probably a lot duller. But our young people here seem to like it well enough. 90% of them graduate from high school, settle down right here to live, even when they've been away to college.
Now, would anyone in the audience like to ask Editor Webb anything about the town?
Yes. Is there much drinking in Grover's Corners?
Well, sir, I don't know what you'd call much. Saturday nights, the farmhands meet down in Ellery Greeno's stable and holler some. We've got one or two town drunks, but they're always having remorses every time an evangelist comes to town. No, sir, I'd say liquor ain't a regular thing in the home here, except in the medicine chest. Took a snake bite, always was.
Is there no one in town aware
Excuse me, could you come down where we can all hear you? Now, what were you saying?
Is there no one in town aware of social injustice and industrial inequality?
Well, oh yes, everyone is. Something terrible. Seems like they spend most of their time talking about who's rich and who's poor.
Then why don't they do something about it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess we're all hunting like everyone else is for a way that diligent and sensible can rise to the top and the lazy and quarrelsome can sink to the bottom, but it ain't easy to find. And meanwhile, we do all we can to help those that can't help themselves, and those that can, we leave alone. Are there any other questions?
Oh, Mr. Webb! Mr. Webb, is there any cultural of beauty in Grover's Corners?
No, ma'am, there ain't much. Not in the sense you mean. Well, come to think of it, there are some girls who play piano at high school commencement, but, well, they ain't happy about it. No, there isn't much culture, but maybe this is the place to tell you that we've got a lot of pleasures of a kind here in Grover's Corners. We like the sun coming up over the mountain in the morning, and we all notice a good deal about the birds. We pay a lot of attention to them. And we watch the change of the seasons. Yes, everyone knows about them. But those other things, you're right, ma'am, there ain't much. Robinson Crusoe, the Bible, and Handel's Largo. We all know that. And Whistler's Mother. But those are just about as far as we go.
So I thought. Thank you, Mr. Webb.
Thank you, Mr. Webb. All right, now we'll go back to the town. It's early afternoon, All 2,642 have had their dinners, and all the dishes have been washed. There are only a few buggies on Main Street, horses dozing at their posts. There's an early afternoon calm in our town. A buzzing and a humming coming from the schoolyards. You all remember what it's like. Doc Gibbs is in his office, tapping people and making them say, "Ah." And there's Mr. Webb, cutting his lawn. I swear, one man in 10 thinks it's a privilege to push his own lawnmower. Oh no, sir, it's later than I thought. Here are the children coming home from school already.
I can't, Louise. I've got to go home and help my mother. I promised.
Emily, walk simply. Who do you think you are today?
Papa, you're terrible. First thing, you tell me to stand up straight, and then you call me names. I just don't listen to you. Mwah.
Well, golly, I never got a kiss from such a great lady before.
Awfully sorry, Miss Forrest.
You go out and play in the fields, young man. You got no business playing baseball on Main Street.
Excuse me again, Miss Forrest. Hello, Emily.
Hello, George.
You made a fine speech in class today.
I was really ready to talk about the Monroe Doctrine, but at the last minute, Miss Corcoran made me talk about the Louisiana Purchase. I worked an awful long time on both of them.
Gee, it's funny, Emily. From my window up there, I can just see your head when you're in your room those nights doing your work.
Why, can you?
Yeah, you sure do stick to it. I don't see how you can sit still for so long. I guess you must really like school.
Well, I figure it's just something that people have to go through.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. It passes the time.
Yeah. Say, well, what do you think? We could set up some sort of telegraph system from my window to yours, and when I'm stuck on one of those algebra problems, you could give me a hint. Well, not the answer, of course, but like a hint or two or something.
Well, okay, I think hints are allowed. So, if you get stuck, George, just whistle and I'll give you a hint.
Gee, thanks, Emily. I guess you're just naturally bright.
I figure it's just the way some people are born.
Yeah, but see, I want to grow up to be a farmer and work on Uncle Luke's farm. And, well, he says if I'm any good at it, I could just start having it all.
The farm, the house and everything?
Yeah. Oh, well, I guess I better get going to the baseball field. It's nice talking to you, Emily. Yes, again, so long.
So long, George.
Good afternoon, Miss Webb.
Good afternoon, George. Emily, come and help me string these beans for the winter. George Gibbs let himself have a real conversation, didn't he? Why, he's growing up. How old would George be?
I don't know.
Well, let's see. He must be almost 16.
Mama, I made a speech in class today and I was really good.
Well, then you must recite it to your father at supper. What was it about?
The Louisiana Purchase. It was like silk off a spool. I'm gonna make speeches all my life. Mama, are these big enough?
Try and get them a little bigger if you can.
Mama, can I ask you a question? Serious?
Seriously, dear, not serious.
Seriously then, will you?
Of course I will.
Mama, am I good looking?
Oh, yes, of course you are. All of my children have got good features. I'd be ashamed if they hadn't.
What I mean is, Mama, am I pretty?
I already told you yes. Now that's enough of that. You have a nice, young, pretty face. Never heard of such foolishness.
Mama, you never tell the truth about anything.
I am telling you the truth.
Mama, were you pretty?
Well, yes, I was, if I do say. I was the prettiest girl in town, next to Mamie Cartwright.
Oh, but Mama, you've got to say something. I mean, am I pretty enough to get people interested in me?
Emily, you make me tired. Now, stop that. You're pretty enough for all normal
Now we've got to interrupt again here. Thank you, Mrs. Webb. Thank you, Emily. We want a little more background about the town. I think this is the time to tell you that the Cartwright interests have just begun building a new bank in Grover's Corners. Had to go to Vermont for the marble, sorry to say. And they've asked a friend of mine what they should put in the cornerstone for people 1,000 years from now to dig up. Now, they put in a copy of the New York Times and of Editor Webb's Sentinel. And we're kind of interested in this because some scientific fellas have found a way of painting all that reading matter in a glue, a silicate glue, that'll make it keep 1,000, 2,000 years. We've put in a Bible and the Constitution of the United States and a copy of William Shakespeare's plays. So what do you say, folks? What do you think? You know, Babylon once had over 2 million people in it. And all we know about them is the name of the kings and some copies of wheat contracts. Yet, every night, all those families sat down to dinner, and the father come out home from his work, and the smoke went up the chimney, same as here. And even in Greece and Rome, the only thing we know about the real lives of the people that lived there is what we can piece together out of the joking poems and the comedies they wrote for the theater. So I'm going to have a copy of this play put in, and people 1,000 years from now will know a few basic facts about us. But more than just the Lindbergh flight and the Treaty of Versailles. You see what I mean? So, people 1,000 years from now, this is what we were like in the provinces north of New York at the beginning of the 20th century. This is what we were like in our growing up, and in our living, and in our marrying, and in our dying. It's evening. You can hear choir practice going on in the Congregational Church. The children are at home doing their schoolwork. Yes, the day's winding down like a tired clock.
Now look here, everybody. Music come into this world to give pleasure. Softer, softer. Get it out of your heads that music's only good when it's loud. Leave loudness to the Methodists. Even if you wanted to. Now again, tenors.
Emily!
Hello, George.
Hello.
Can't work at all. This moonlight's so terrible.
What did you get for the third problem?
Which?
The third.
Why, George, that's the easiest of them all.
Really? I don't see it. Could you give me a hint?
I'll give you a hint. The answer's in yards.
In yards?
In square yards.
In square yards?
Yes, don't you see?
Yeah.
In square yards of wallpaper.
In square yards? Oh! Wallpaper. Now I see. Thanks, Emily.
You're welcome. My, isn't this moonlight terrible? And choir practice going on down the street? Why, I think if you hold your breath, you can hear the train all the way to Pontyclun. Hear it?
Whew. What do you know?
Well, I better get back to work.
Thanks again, Emily.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh, before I forget, how many of you are free to come in next Tuesday to sing at Fred Percy's wedding? Show your hands. That'll be fine. That'll be right nice. We'll do the same music we did for Jane Trowbridge's last month. And now we'll do... Art thou weary, art thou languid? It's a question. Ladies and gentlemen, make it talk. Ready? George, can you come down a minute?
Yes, Pa?
Make yourself comfortable, George. I'll only keep you a minute. George, how old are you?
Me? I'm 16, almost 17.
And what do you want to do after school's over?
Oh, you know that. I want to be a farmer and work on Uncle Luke's farm.
You'll be willing, will you, to get up early, to milk and feed the stock. You'll be able to hoe and hay all day.
Of course. Well, why do you ask?
Well, George, while I was in my office today, I heard a funny sound. What do you think it was? It was your mother chopping wood. There. You see? Your mother. Getting up early, cooking meals all day long, washing and ironing, and still, she has to go out in the backyard and chop wood. I suppose she just got tired of asking you. She just gave up and decided it was easier to do it herself. And you keep the clothes, she keeps nice for you, and you eat her meals, and you run off and play baseball. Like she's some hired girl we keep around the house, but that we don't like very much. Well, I knew all I had to do was call your attention to it. Here's a handkerchief, son. George, I've decided to raise your spending money 25 cents a week. Not, of course, for chopping wood for your mother, because that's a present you give her. But because you're getting older. And I imagine there are lots of things you must find to do with it.
Thanks, Pa. Thanks.
Let's see. Tomorrow's your payday, and you can count on it. Probably Rebecca feels she ought to have some more, too. Wonder what could have happened to your mother. Choir practice never was as late as this before.
It's only 8:30, Pa.
I don't know why she's in that old choir. She hasn't any more voice than an old crow. Traipsing around the streets at this hour of the night. Just about time you retired, don't you think?
Oh, yes, Pa.
Good night, Martha. Good night, Mr. Foster.
I'll tell Mr. Webb I know he'll want to put it in the paper.
My, it's late.
Good night, Irma.
Real nice choir practice one day. Oh, Myrtle Webb, look at that moon, will you? Potato weather for sure.
Naturally, I didn't want to say a word about it in front of those others, but now that we're alone, really, it's the worst scandal that ever was in this town.
What?
Simon Stimson.
Now, Luella.
But Julia, to have the organist of the church drink and drunk year after year, you know he was drunk tonight.
Now, Luella, we all know about Mr. Stimson, and we all know the troubles he's been through, and Dr. Ferguson knows too. And if Dr. Ferguson decides to keep him on there in his job, well, the only thing the rest of us can do is just not to notice it.
Not to notice, but it's getting worse.
No, it isn't, Luella. It's getting better. I've been in that choir twice as long as you have. It doesn't happen anywhere near so often. My, I hate going to bed at a night like this. But I better hurry. Those children will be sitting up till all hours. Good night, Luella.
Can you get home safe, Luella?
It's as bright as day out. I can see Mr. Soames scowling from the window now. He'd think we've been to a dance the way the menfolk carry on.
Well, we had a real good time.
You were late enough.
Now, Frank, it ain't any later than usual.
And you stopping at the corner to gossip with a lot of hens?
Now, Frank, don't be grouchy. Come out and smell the heliotrope in the moonlight. Isn't that wonderful? What did you do all the time while I was away?
Well, I read as usual. What were the girls gossiping about tonight?
Well, believe me, Frank, there's something to gossip about.
Simon Stimson far gone, was he?
Worst I've ever seen him. How will that end, Frank? You know, Dr. Ferguson can't forgive him forever.
I guess I know more about Simon Stimson's affairs than anybody in this town. Some people just ain't made for small town life. I don't know how that'll end, but there's nothing we can do but just leave it alone. Come on, get inside.
Oh, no, not yet. Frank, I'm worried about you.
What are you worried about?
I think it's my duty to make sure you get a real rest and change. If I get that legacy, I'm gonna insist on it.
Now, Julia, there's no sense in going over that again.
Frank, you're just unreasonable.
Come on, it's getting late. First thing you know, you'll catch cold. I gave George a piece of my mind tonight. I reckon you'll have your wood chopped. For a while, anyway. No, start getting upstairs.
Oh, dear, there's always so many things to pick up, seems like. You know, Frank, Mrs. Fairchild always locks her front door every night. All those people up that part of town do.
They're all getting city-fied. That's the trouble with them. They haven't got nothing fit to burgle, and everybody knows it. Get out, Rebecca. There's not enough room for you up here. You're always spoiling everything.
Well, let me just look a minute.
Use your own window.
I did, but there's no moon there. George, you know what I think, do you? I think maybe the moon's getting nearer and nearer, and one day there'll be a big explosion.
Rebecca, you don't know anything. If the moon really was getting nearer and nearer, then the guys that sit up all night at their telescopes would find out about it, and they'd tell all of us, and it'd be in all the newspapers.
George, is the moon shining on South America, Canada, and half the whole world?
Well, I suppose so.
It's 9:30. All the lights are out. No, there's Constable Warren checking a few doors on Main Street. And here comes Editor Webb after putting his newspaper to bed.
Evening, Bill.
Evening, Mr. Webb.
White of the moon.
Yep.
All quiet tonight?
Well, Simon Stimpson's rolling around a little bit. So just saw his wife moving out to hunt for him. So I looked the other way. There he is now.
Good evening, Simon. Town seems to have settled down for the night pretty well. That's, evening. Once the town settled down for the night, Simon, I guess we better do the same. Can I walk a long ways with you? Good night.
I don't know how that's going to end, Mr. Webb.
Well, he's seen a peck of trouble. One thing after another. No, Bill, if you see my boy smoking cigarettes, just give him a word, will you? He thinks a lot of you, Bill.
I don't think he smokes no cigarettes, Mr. Webb. Leastwise, not more than 2 or 3 a year.
I hope not. Well, good night, Bill.
Good night, Mr. Webb.
Who's that up there? Is that you, Myrtle?
No, it's just me, Papa.
Why aren't you in bed?
I can't sleep just yet. Isn't the moonlight wonderful? And the smell of Mrs. Gibbs's heliotrope? Do you smell it?
Yes. Haven't any, troubles on your mind, have you, Emily?
Troubles, Papa? No.
Well, enjoy yourself. But don't let your mother catch you. Have a good night, Emily.
Night, Papa. I never told you about that letter Jane Crowfoot got from her minister when she was sick. She wrote her a letter, and on the envelope, the address was like this. It said, Jane Crowfoot, the Crowfoot Farm, Grover's Corners, Sutton County, New Hampshire, United States of America.
Well, what's so special about that?
But listen, it's not finished. The United States of America, continent of North America, Western Hemisphere, the Earth, the solar system, the universe, the mind of God. That's what it said on the envelope.
Well, what do you know?
And the postman brought it just the same.
Well, what do you know?
That's all for the first act, folks. You can go and smoke now, those that smoke.
without their hearts.
A number of young people fell.
People fell in love.
Everybody,
Get married.
it's 3 years later.
I can stop now. They get breakfast.
Another word.
Pretty awful things.
That's none of our business.
And don't you forget that.
Big things, please.
Big things like that. I think you're just a little bit crazy.
Was I going to say something?
It gets worse every year.
Oh?
I'm fine.
It's 3 years later. Yes, the sun's come up over 1,000 times. But summers and winters have cracked the mountains a little bit more, and the rains have brought down some of the dirt. Some babies that weren't even born before have begun talking regular sentences already, and a number of people that thought they were bright, young, and spry have found they can't bound up a flight of steps like they used to without their hearts fluttering a little. All that can happen in 1,000 days. But nature's been pushing and contriving in other ways, too. A number of young people fell in love and got married. So, it's 3 years later. It's 1904. It's early morning, only this time it's been raining. It's been pouring and thundering. All yesterday. Mrs. Gibbs's and Mrs. Webb's garden here, drenched. All those pea vines and bean poles, drenched. Up there on Main Street, it looked like curtains being blown along. It may begin again at any minute. There, you can hear the 5:45 for Boston. Oh, and there's Mrs. Webb and Mrs. Gibbs coming downstairs to make breakfast, just as though it were an ordinary day. Now, I don't have to point out to the women in my audience that those ladies they see before them, both of those ladies, cooked 3 meals a day. One of them for 20 years, the other for 40. And no summer vacation. They brought up 2 children apiece, washed, cleaned the house, and never a nervous breakdown. It's like what one of those Middle West poets said. You've got to love life to have life, and you've got to have life to love life. It's what they call a vicious circle.
Get up, Bessie.
There's Howie Newsom delivering the milk, and here's Cy Kroll delivering the paper like his brother Joe before him.
Morning, Howie.
Morning, Si. Anything in those papers I ought to know about?
Nothing much, except we're losing about the best baseball pitcher Grover's Corners ever had. George Gibbs.
I reckon he is.
He could hit and run bases, too.
Mighty fine ball player. Whoa, Bessie, I can stop and talk if I have a mind to.
I just don't see how a person can give up a thing like that just to get married. Would you have it?
Oh, wouldn't know. I never had no talent that way. Oh, you're up early, Bill.
Yes. Been seeing if there's anything I can do to prevent a flood. River's been rising all night.
Cy Kroll here's all worked up about George Gibbs retiring from baseball.
Yes, sir, that's the way it goes. We had a player back in '84 side. Even George Gibbs couldn't touch him. Name of Randy Todd. Went down to Bay, became a parson. Wonderful ball player. Howie, how does the weather look to you?
Oh, it ain't bad. Think maybe it'll clear up for good.
Morning, Howie. Think it's gonna rain again?
Morning, Mrs. Gibbs. It rains so heavy, I think maybe it'll clear up for good.
Certainly hope it will.
How much did you want today?
I'm gonna have a house full of relations. Howie, looks to me like I'll need 3 milk and 2 cream.
My wife told me to tell you that we hope they'll both be very happy. No, they will.
Thanks a lot, Howie. Tell your wife we hope she can get there to the wedding.
Oh, she'll get there. She'll get there if she can. Morning, Mrs. Webb.
Good morning, Mr. Newsom. I know I told you 4 quarts of milk, but I hope you can spare me another.
Yes, and the 2 of cream.
Will it start raining again, Mr. Newsom?
You know, I was just telling Mrs. Gibbs as how it may lighten up. My wife told me to tell you we hope they'll both be very happy. No, they will.
Thank you, and thank Mrs. Newsom, and we're counting on seeing you both at the wedding.
Oh, yes, we'll get there. Couldn't miss that. Come on, Bessie.
Well, Ma, the day has come. You're losing one of your chicks.
Oh, Frank Gibbs, don't you say another word. I feel like crying every minute. Sit down and drink your coffee.
The groom's up, shaving himself, only there ain't an awful lot to shave. Whistling and singing like he's glad to leave us. Every now and then he says, "I do," to the mirror. But it don't sound convincing to me.
I declare, Frank, I don't know how he'll get along. I've arranged his clothes and seen to it he's put warm things on. Frank, they're too young. Emily won't think of such things. He'll catch his death of cold within a week.
I was remembering my wedding morning, Julia.
Now, don't start that, Frank Gibbs.
I was the scaredest young fella in the state of New Hampshire. I thought I'd make a mistake for sure. And when I saw you coming down that aisle, I thought you were the prettiest girl I'd ever seen. Only trouble was, I'd never seen you before. There I was, standing in the Congregational Church marrying a total stranger.
How do you think I felt, Frank? Weddings are perfectly awful things. Farces, that's what they are. Made something for you.
Why, Julia Hurston, French toast.
It ain't hard to make, and I had to do something.
How'd you sleep last night, Julia?
Well, I heard a lot of the hours struck off.
Yes, I get a shock every time I think about George setting out to be a family man. That great gangly thing. You know, Julia, I tell you, there's nothing so terrifying in the world as a son. The relation of father and son is the darndest, awkwardest.
Well, mother and daughter's no picnic, let me tell you.
I suppose they'll have a lot of troubles, but that's none of our business. Everybody has a right to their own troubles.
Yes. People are meant to go through life 2 by 2. Tain't natural to be lonesome.
Do you know one of the things I was scared of when I married you, Julia?
Oh, go along with you.
I was afraid we wouldn't have material for conversation more than last us a few weeks. I was afraid that we would just run out and eat our meals in silence. Well, we've been conversing for 20 years now with any noticeable barren spells.
Well, good weather, bad weather, tain't right choice, but always find something to say. Did you hear Rebecca started around this morning?
No. Probably the only day of the year Rebecca isn't up there managing everybody's business. She's hiding in her room. I get the impression she's crying.
Oh, Lord's sake, this has got to stop. Rebecca! Rebecca, come and get your breakfast.
Good morning, everybody. Only 5 more hours to live.
George Gibbs, where are you going?
I'm just stepping across the grass to see my girl.
You put on your overshoes. It's raining torrents. You don't go out of this house without you're prepared for it.
It's just a step.
You'll catch a death of cold and cough all through the service.
George, listen to your mother.
From tomorrow on, you can clean yourself in all weathers, but while you're in my house, you'll live wisely, thank you. Maybe Mrs. Webb isn't used to callers at 7 in the morning. Here, take a cup of coffee first.
I'll be back in a minute. Good morning, Mother Webb.
Goodness, George, you frightened me. Now, George, you can come in a minute after the wet, but you know I can't ask you in.
Why's that?
George, you know as well as I do. The groom can't see his bride on his wedding day, not until he sees her in church.
Oh, that's just superstition. Good morning, Mr. Webb.
Good morning, George.
Mr. Webb, you don't believe in that superstition, do you?
Well, there's a lot of common sense in some superstitions, George.
Millions have followed it, George, and you don't want to be the first to fly in the face of custom.
How's Emily?
Well, she hasn't waked yet. Haven't heard a sound out of her.
Emily's asleep?
Well, no wonder. We were up all night sewing and packing. Now, George, I'll tell you what I'll do. You sit down here a minute with Mr. Webb and you have that cup of coffee. And I'll go upstairs and make sure she doesn't come down and surprise you. There's some bacon too, but don't be long about it.
Well, George, how are you?
Oh, fine. I'm fine. Mr. Webb, what sense could there be in a superstition like that?
Well, on a wedding morning, a girl's head's apt to be full of clothes and one thing and another. Don't you think that's probably it?
Yes, I suppose I never thought of it that way.
A girl's apt to be a mite nervous on her wedding day.
Oh, yeah. I wish a fella could get married without all this marching up and down.
Oh, every man that's ever lived has felt that way about it, George, but it hasn't been any use. It's the women folk who have built up weddings, my boy. For a while now, the women have it all their own. A man looks pretty small at a wedding, George. All those good women standing shoulder to shoulder, making sure that the knot's tied in a mighty public way.
But you believe in it, don't you?
Yes, don't misunderstand me, my boy. Marriage is a wonderful thing, and don't you forget that, George.
No, no, sir. Mr. Webb, how old were you when you got married?
Well, let's see. I'd been to college, and I'd taken some time to get settled. Mrs. Webb, she wasn't much older than what Emily is. Age hasn't much to do with it, George, not compared with other things.
What were you going to say, Mr. Webb?
Oh, I don't know. Was I going to say something? George, I was thinking the other night of some advice my father gave me when I got married. Charles, he said, Charles, start out early showing them who's boss. He said, best thing to do is to give an order, even if it don't make sense, just so she'll learn to obey. And he said, if anything about your wife irritates you, her conversation or anything, just get up and leave the house. That'll make it clear to her, he said. And, oh yes, he said, never, never let your wife know how much money you have. Never.
Well, Mr. Webb, I don't know if I could.
And so I took the opposite of my father's advice. And I've been happy ever since. And let that be a lesson to you, George. Never to ask advice on personal matters. Are you going to raise chickens on your farm, George?
What?
Are you going to raise chickens on your farm?
Well, Uncle Luke's never been much interested, but...
A book came into my office the other day, George, about the philo system of raising chickens, and I want you to read it. I've been thinking of beginning in a small way in the backyard. I have this old incubator in the cellar.
Charles, you talking about that old incubator again? I thought you two would be talking about something worthwhile.
Well, Myrtle, if you'd like to give the boy some good advice, I'll go upstairs and leave you alone with him.
George, Emily's got to come down and eat her breakfast. She sends you her love, but she doesn't want to lay eyes on you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Well, Myrtle, I guess you don't know about that older superstition.
Well, what do you mean, Charles?
Since the cavemen. No bridegroom should see his father-in-law on the day of the wedding. Or near it. Now remember that.
Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Webb. Now, we want to know how all of this began. This marriage, this plan to spend a lifetime together. I'm awfully interested in how big things like that begin. You know how it is. You're 21 or 22. You make some decisions and whoosh, you're 70. You've been a lawyer for 50 years, and that white-haired woman by your side has eaten over 50,000 meals with you. How do such things begin? Now, George and Emily are going to show you the moment when they, as the saying goes, knew they were meant for one another. But before they do, I want you to try and remember what it was like to have been very young. And in particular, those days when you were first in love, when you were like a person in a daydream, and you didn't quite see the street you were on, and you didn't quite hear everything that was said to you. You're just a little bit crazy. Can you do that for me, please? Now, George and Emily are going to be coming out of school at 3 o'clock. George has just been elected president of the junior class, and seeing as it's May, that means he'll be president of the senior class all next year. And Emily has been elected secretary and treasurer. I don't have to tell you how important that is.
I've got to go home, Louise. Tell your mother you have to. Goodbye. Oh, Ernestine, could you come over later and help with Latin? Isn't that Cicero the worst? Goodbye. Goodbye, Helen. Goodbye, Fred.
Emily, can I carry your books home for you?
Thank you. It isn't far.
Excuse me a minute. Say, Bob, if I'm late for practice, just start without me. And throw Herb some long high ones.
Oh, goodbye, Lizzie.
Goodbye, Lizzie. I'm awfully glad you were elected too, Emily.
Thank you.
Emily, why are you mad at me?
I'm not mad at you.
You've been treating me so funny lately.
Well, now that you say it, George, I might as well just come out with it. Goodbye, Miss Corcoran.
Goodbye, Miss Corcoran. What is it?
Well, I don't like the whole change that's come over you in the past year, and I'm sorry if it hurts your feelings, but I've got to tell the truth and shame the devil.
A change? What do you mean?
Well, up to a year ago, I used to like you a lot, and I used to watch as you did everything, because we'd been friends for so long. But then you started spending all your time in baseball, and you never stopped to speak to anybody anymore. Not even your own family you didn't, George, and it's a fact. You've got awful conceited and stuck up, and everybody says so. They may not say it to your face, but that's what they say about you behind your back. And it hurts me to hear them say it, but I have to agree with them a little. And I'm sorry if it hurts your feelings, but I can't be sorry that I said it.
No. I'm glad you said it. I never thought that such a thing was happening to me. I guess it's hard for a fella not to have faults creep into his character.
Well, I think a man ought to be perfect, and I expect him to be.
Well, I don't think it's possible to be perfect, Emily.
Well, my father is perfect. And as far as I can tell, your father is perfect. So there's no reason on earth why you shouldn't be perfect too.
Well, I think it's the other way around, that men aren't naturally good, but girls are.
Well, I might as well tell you right now that I'm not perfect. It's not as easy for a girl to be as perfect as a man. Us girls are more nervous. And I don't know why I said all those things earlier. I'm sorry I said them. I don't know what came over me.
Emily.
And suddenly I feel that it's not important anymore, and I see that it's not the truth at all.
Emily, would you like an ice cream soda or something before you go home?
Yes, thank you, I would.
Hello, Mr. Slocum. How are you? Good afternoon.
Why, George and Emily, why, Emily Webb, what have you been crying about?
She just had an awful scare. Is all, Mr. Morgan? She almost got ran over by that hardware store wagon. Everybody says that Tom Huckins drives like a crazy man.
You take a drink of water, Emily.
Thank you, Mr. Martin.
Yes, sir, you've got to look both ways before you cross Main Street nowadays. Gets worse every year. Now, what do you have?
Strawberry phosphate, please, Mr. Morgan?
No, Emily, have an ice cream soda with me. Mr. Morgan, 2 strawberry ice cream sodas, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 2 strawberry ice cream sodas. I tell you, there are 150 horses on Main Street this minute I'm talking to you now. State inspector was in here yesterday. And now they're bringing in those automobiles. Safest thing is to just stay home. Why, I remember when a dog could take a nap out on Main Street all afternoon and nothing would come along to disturb him. There you are, 2 strawberry ice cream sodas. Just what can I do for you, Miss Hatch?
They're so expensive.
Now, don't you worry about that. We're celebrating our election. And do you know what else I'm celebrating?
No?
I'm celebrating because I've got a friend that tells me all the things that ought to be told me.
Oh, George, don't think of that. I don't know what made me say it.
No, you stick to it, Emily. Glad you spoke to me like that. But I'm gonna change. You'll see, I'm gonna change. And, Emily, I want to ask you a favor.
Yes, George?
Emily, if I go away to state agriculture school next year, would you write me a letter every once in a while?
Oh, of course I will, George. Of course I will. But I would think that being away for 3 years, you know, Grover's Corners wouldn't seem so interesting after a while. I mean, it's not very interesting when you think of it all, New Hampshire, but I think it's a lovely town.
The day wouldn't come where I wouldn't want to know everything that goes on in this town, Emily. I know that's true.
Well, I'll try to make my letters interesting.
You know, Emily, whenever I meet another farmer, I always ask him if he thinks it's important for me to go to agriculture school in order to be a good farmer.
Why, George?
Yeah, and some of them even say it's a waste of time. You can get everything you need out of those pamphlets the government hands out. And Uncle Luke's getting pretty old. He's about ready for me to start taking in over for him tomorrow if I could.
My.
And like you said, being gone all that time, meeting new people in other towns. Gosh, if anything like that could happen, I don't ever want to go away. Emily, I feel as though you're as good a friend as I've got. I guess new people aren't any better than old ones. I'll bet they almost never are.
But, George, maybe it's very important for you to go and learn about all those things. Cattle judging and soils and such. Of course I wouldn't know.
Emily, I'm going to make up my mind right now. I won't go. I'll tell Pa about it tonight.
But, George, I don't see why you have to decide right now. It's a whole year away.
Listen, Emily. I'm glad you spoke to me about that fault in my character. And what you said was true. But there was one thing wrong in it. And that was when you said for a whole year I wasn't noticing other people. And you, for instance. While you always said you were watching me while I was doing everything, I was doing the same about you. I always thought of you as one of the chief people I used to think about. Always made sure where you were in the bleachers and who you were with. And, well, for the past 3 days now, I've been trying to walk home with you. I've been trying to walk home with you from school, but every single time something's come up. Why, just yesterday I was standing over by that wall over there, waiting for you. You walked home with Miss Corcoran.
George, life's awful funny. How could I have known?
Listen, Emily. I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to agriculture school next year. I feel as though once you find someone that you're really fond of, and who's fond of you too, and who's interested in you enough to be liking to your character, well, I feel as though that's just as important as college is. Even more so. That's just what I think.
I think it's important too, George. Yes, George.
Emily, if I do change, make a big change, could you be, would you be?
I am now, George, and I always have been.
I guess this is a pretty important conversation we've been having, huh?
Yes! Yes, it is.
Give me just a minute to pay for these and I'll walk you home. Mr. Morgan, I'll need to walk home to get the money to pay for these sodas.
Why, George Gibbs, do you mean to tell me?
I have my reasons, I assure you. Here, take my watch to keep until I get back.
You keep your watch, George. I'll trust you.
I'll be back in 5 minutes.
I'll trust you 10 years, George Gibbs, not a day more. You all over your fright, Emily?
Oh, yes, Mr. Morgan. It was nothing.
I'm ready.
Well, now we're ready to get on with the wedding. There are a lot of thoughts that go into a wedding. There are a lot of things to be said about a wedding. We can't fit them all into one wedding. It's certainly not a wedding at Grover's Corners, where they're awfully plain and short. In this wedding, I play the minister. So that gives me the right to say a few more things about it. For a while now, the play gets pretty serious. You know, some churches say that marriage is a sacrament. Well, I don't quite know what that means, but I reckon I can guess. It's like what Mrs. Gibbs here said a few minutes ago. People were made to go through life 2 by 2. This is a good wedding, but even at a good wedding, there's a lot of confusion way down deep in people. And we thought that ought to be in our play too. And of course, the hero of this wedding isn't on stage at all, and you all know who that is. It's like what one of those European fellows said, every child born into this world is nature's attempt at a perfect human being. Well, we've seen nature pushing and contriving for some time now, but we all know nature's interested in quantity, but I think she's interested in quality too. That's why I'm in the ministry. And of course, all those other witnesses, the ancestors, millions of them. And most of them set out to go through life 2 by 2 also. Well, that's all my sermon. It wasn't very long anyway.
Don't know why I should be crying. Suppose there's nothing to cry about. Came over me at breakfast this morning. There was Emily sitting there eating her breakfast as she's done for 17 years. Now she's going off to eat in somebody else's house. Suppose that's it. And Emily, she suddenly said, I can't eat another mouthful. She put her head down on that table and she cried. Oh, I've got to say it. You know, there's something downright cool about sending our girls out into marriage this way. Hope some of her girlfriends have told her a thing or two. I know it's cruel, but I couldn't bring myself to say anything. I went into it blind as a bat myself. The whole world's wrong. That's what's the matter. Oh, here they come.
It's the big day. We're gonna miss you at the games. You got a big night tonight.
All right. That's enough of that. There used to be an awful lot more of that sort of thing back in the old days, Rome and so on. But we're more civilized now. Or so we say.
George, what's the matter?
Well, I don't want to grow old. Why is everyone pushing me to?
Why, George, you wanted it.
No, Mom, listen to me.
No, George, you're a man now.
No, Mom, listen to me for the last time. All I ever wanted was to be a fellow.
George, anyone should hear you. Now stop. I'm ashamed of you.
What? cheer up, Mom. I'm getting married.
Let me catch my breath a minute.
Mom, now you save Thursday nights, all right? Emily and I will be over for dinner every Thursday evening. What are you crying for? Come on, we've got to get ready.
I never felt so alone in my whole life. And George up there looking so... Oh, I hate him! I'm dead! Papa?
Emily, don't get upset.
Papa, I don't want to get married. Why can't I stay for a while just as I am?
Emily, everything's all right.
Papa, I don't want to. There must be somewhere we can go. Let's go away.
No, Emily, just stop and think a minute, all right?
Papa, remember, you used to say, all the time you used to say that I was your girl. There must be somewhere we could go. I could work for you. I could keep house.
Emily, you're just nervous is all. You mustn't think of such things. George, will you come here a minute? Well, you're marrying the best young fellow in the world, all right? George is a fine fellow.
Papa.
George. I'm giving my daughter away, George. Do you think you can take care of her?
Mr. Webb, I want to. I want to try. Emily, I love you. I need you.
If you love me, then help me. All I want is for someone to love me.
I'll try, Emily. Emily, I will.
And I mean forever. Do you hear me? Forever and ever.
Come the way first. It'll be all right. Come quick.
George, do you take this woman, Emily, to be your wedded wife?
Perfectly lovely wedding. Loveliest wedding I ever saw. Oh, I do love a good wedding, don't you? Doesn't she make a lovely bride?
I do.
And do you, Emily, take this man, George, to be your wedded husband?
Don't know when I've been to such a lovely wedding, but I always cry. Don't know what it is, but I always cry. I just like to see young people happy, don't you? Oh, I think it's lovely.
I've married over 200 couples in my day. Do I believe in it? I don't know. Marceline marries Norbert. Millions of them. The cottage, the go-kart, the Sunday afternoon drive in the Ford, the first rheumatism, the grandchildren, the second rheumatism, the deathbed, the reading of the will. Once in 1,000 times it's interesting. Well, let's have Mendelssohn's Wedding March.
Aren't they a lovely couple? I've never been to such a nice wedding. I'm sure they'll be happy. I always say, happiness, that's the great thing. The important thing is to be happy.
That's all the second act, folks. 10-minute intermission.
Elementary school teachers, his face.
by a wasp when I was 3 years old. My mom gave that wasp what it deserved. Diving off the top parapet of the bridge into the river water, and then just skiing at sandy bottom. Feel free to take a seat.
This time 9 years have gone by, friends. Summer, 1913. Gradual changes in Grover's Corners. Horses are getting rarer. Farmers coming into town in Fords. And everybody locks their house doors now at night. Ain't been any burglars in town yet, but everybody's heard about them. Still, you'd be surprised though. On the whole, things don't change much around here. This is certainly an important part of Grover's Corners. It's on a hilltop, a windy hilltop, lots of sky, lots of clouds, often lots of sun and moon and stars. You come up here on a fine afternoon, you can see range on range of hills. Awful blue they are up there by Lake Sunapee and Lake Winnipesaukee. And if you've got a glass, way up you can see the White Mountains and Mount Washington, where North Conway and Conway is. And of course, our favorite mountain, Mount Monadnocks, right here. And all these towns that lie around it, Jaffrey and East Jaffrey, and Peterborough, and Dublin, and there, quite a ways down, is Grover's Corners. Beautiful spot up here, Mountain Laurel and Lilac. I often wonder why people want to be buried in Woodlawn in Brooklyn when they might pass the same time here in New Hampshire. Over there are the Old Stones, 1670, 1680. Strong-minded people that come a long way to be independent. Summer folk walk around there laughing at the funny words on the headstones. They don't do any harm. And genealogists come up from Boston, get paid by city folks for looking up their ancestors, want to make sure they're true daughters of the American Revolution and the Mayflower. Well, I suppose that don't do any harm either. Anywhere you come near the human race, there are layers and layers of nonsense. Over there are some Civil War veterans, iron flags on their graves. New Hampshire boys had a notion the Union ought to be kept together, though they'd never seen more than 50 miles of it themselves. All they knew was the name, folks. United States of America. The United States of America. And they went and died about it. This here's the new part of the cemetery. And here's Mrs. Gibbs, your friend. And let's see here. Mr. Stimson, organist at the Congregational Church, and Mrs. Soames, who enjoyed the wedding so. You remember. And a lot of others. Oh, and here's Editor Webb's boy, Wallace, whose appendix burst when he was on a Boy Scout trip to Crawford Notch. Yes, an awful lot of sorrows sort of quieted down up here. People just wild with grief have brought their relatives up to this hill. You know how it is. And then time, and sunny days, and rainy days, and snow. We're all just glad they're in a beautiful place now, and we're coming up here to join them as soon as our fit's over. Now, there are some things we all know, but we don't take them out and look at them very often. We all know that something is eternal. And it ain't houses, and it ain't names, and it ain't earth, and it ain't even the stars. We know deep down in our bones that something is eternal. And that something has to do with human beings. All the greatest people ever lived have been telling us that for over 5,000 years. Yet, you'd be surprised how people are always losing hold of it. There's something way down deep that's eternal about every human being. Now, you know as well as I do, the dead don't stay interested in us living people for long. Gradually, they lose hold of the earth. And the ambitions they had, and the pleasures they had, and the things they suffered, and the people they loved. They get weaned away, that's how I put it, weaned away. And all the while, they're slowly growing different to what's happening down in Grover's Corners. Well, they're waiting for something they feel is coming, something important and great. Aren't they waiting for the eternal part in them to come out clear? And all the while, the earth part of them burns away, burns out. Now, some of what they're going to say maybe will hurt your feelings a bit. But that's just the way it is. Mother and daughter, husband and wife, enemy and enemy, money and miser, all those terribly important things grow sort of pale around here. And what's left when memory's gone and your identity, Mrs. Smith? Well, here are some living people. There's Joe Stoddard, our undertaker, supervising a new made grave. And here comes a Grover's Corners girl. Left town to head out west.
Good afternoon, Joe Stoddard.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Let me see. Do I know you?
I'm Sam Craig.
Gracious sakes alive. Of all people,
I was in the East when I got news of my cousin's death, so I decided to combine things a little and see the old home. You look well.
Yes, yes. Can't complain. Can't complain. Very sad old journey today, Sam.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes. I always say, I hate to supervise when it's a young person is taken. They should be here any minute. Now, I saw you supervising at the old.
Oh, old Farmer McCarty. I used to do chores for him after school. He had the lumbago.
Yes, we brought Farmer McCarthy here. Oh, a number of years ago now. Eh?
Why, this is my Aunt Julia. I'd forgotten that she, of course.
Yes, Doc Gibbs lost his wife 2-3 years ago, about this time. And today's a pretty bad blow for him, too.
That's my sister Carrie's girl, Sam Craig.
I'm always uncomfortable when they're around.
Simon.
Do they choose their own verses much, Joe?
Not usual. Mostly the bereaved pick a verse.
Well, it doesn't sound like my Aunt Julia. Oh, there aren't many of the Hersey sisters left now. I wanted to see my mothers and fathers.
Over the Craigs, Avenue F.
He was the organist at church, wasn't he? Drank a lot, we used to say.
Nobody was supposed to know about it. But he'd seen a peck of trouble. Took his own life, you know.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Hung himself in the attic. They tried to hush it up, but of course it got around. He wrote his own epitaph. Take the verse exactly.
Why, it's just some notes of music. What is it?
Oh, wow. No, it was rolled up in the Boston papers at the time, no?
Joe, what did she die of?
Who?
My cousin.
Oh, didn't you know? Had some trouble bringing a baby into the world. Was her second born, this little boy, about 4 years old.
And her grave's going to go over here?
Yes, yes. There ain't much more room over here among the Gibbses anymore. And so they're opening up a whole new section over by Avenue B. Oh, you'll forgive me. Excuse me, they're coming. I see they're coming.
Who is it, Julia?
My daughter-in-law, Emily Webb.
Well, I declare, the road up here must have been awful muddy. What did she die of, Julia?
In childbirth.
Childbirth. I'd forgotten about that. Wasn't life awful and wonderful?
Wonderful, was it?
Simon, now remember.
I remember Emily's wedding. Wasn't it a lovely wedding? And I remember her reading the class poem at graduation exercises. Emily was one of the brightest girls to have ever graduated high school. I heard Principal Wilkins say so time after time. I called on them at their new farm just before I died. Perfectly beautiful farm.
It's on the same road we used to live on.
Yep, bright, smart farm.
I always liked that hymn. I was hoping they'd sing it now.
Hello.
Hello, Emily.
Hello, Miss Gibbs.
Hello, Mother Gibbs.
Emily.
Hello. It's raining.
Yes? They'll be gone soon, dear. Just rest yourself.
Oh, it seems thousands and thousands of years since Papa always remembered that that was my favorite hymn. I wish I'd been here a long time. I don't much like being new here. How do you do, Mr. Stimson?
How do you do, Emily?
Oh, Mother Gibbs, we've made that farm into just the best place you ever saw, George and I. And we thought of you all the time. We wanted to show you the new barn and the great long cement drinking fountain we bought for the stock. We got that out of the money you left us. don't you remember? The legacy you left us. It was over $350.
Yes, Emily.
And there's a patent device on the drinking fountain so that it never overflows and it never sinks below a certain point. It's fine. It won't be the same to George without me, but it's a lovely farm. My people just don't understand, do they?
No, dear, not very much.
They're just sort of shut up in little boxes, aren't they? I feel as though I knew them last 1,000 years ago. My son is spending the day at Mr. Carter's. Oh, Mrs. Carter, my little boy's spending the day at your house. Is he? Yes, he loves it there. Mother Gibbs, we have a Ford too. It never gives any trouble. I don't drive though. Mother Gibbs, when does this feeling go away of being one of them? How long does it?
Dear, just wait and be patient.
They're finished. They're going. Oh, look. Father Gibbs is bringing some of my flowers to you. He looks just like George, doesn't he? Mother Gibbs, I never realized before how troubled and how in the dark live persons are. Look at him. I loved him so. From morning till night, that's all they are, just troubled.
A little cooler than it was.
Yes, the rain's cooled it off a little.
Those northeast winds always do the same thing, don't they?
If it isn't rain, it's a 3-day blow.
But, Mother Gibbs, one can go back there into living again. I know it. I feel it. Like, just for a moment, I was thinking about the farm, and for a minute I was there, and my baby was on my lap as plain as day.
Yes, of course you can.
I can go back there and live all those days over again. Why not?
All I can say is, Emily, don't.
But it's true, isn't it? I can go back and live there again.
Some have tried, but they soon come back here.
Don't do it, Emily.
Emily, don't. It's not what you think it'll be.
But I won't choose a sad day. I'll choose a happy one. I'll choose the day I first knew that I loved George. Why should that be painful?
You won't just live it, you'll watch yourself live it.
Yes?
And as you do, you'll see the thing that they, down there, never see. You'll see the future. You'll know what happens after.
But is that painful? Why?
That's not the only reason you shouldn't do it, Emily. When you've been here longer, you'll see that our life here is to forget all that. And to think only of what's ahead and be ready for what's ahead. When you've been here longer, you'll understand.
But Mother Gibbs, how could I ever forget that life? It's all I know. It's all I had.
Emily, it isn't wise. Really, it isn't.
But it's a thing I must know for myself. I'll choose a happy day anyway.
No. At least choose an unimportant day. Choose the least important day of your life. It will be important enough.
And I can't choose a day since I've been married or since the baby was born. I can choose a birthday at least, can't I? I choose my 12th birthday.
All right. February 11th, 1899, a Tuesday. Any particular time of day?
Oh no, I want the whole day.
Then we'll begin at dawn. You remember it had been snowing for several days, but it had stopped the night before, and they'd just begun clearing the roads. The sun is coming up.
Why, there's Main Street and Mr. Morgan's drugstore before he changed it. And there's the livery stable.
Yes, it's 12 years ago. It's 1899.
Oh, this is the town that I knew as a little girl. And there's the old picket fence that used to be around our house. I'd forgotten about that. Oh, how I loved it. Are they inside?
Your mother will be coming downstairs in a minute to get breakfast.
Will she?
And you remember, your father had been away for several days, giving a speech at his old college in western New York at Clinton.
No.
Yes, he came back on the early morning train.
What? There's Howie Newsom. And there's our policeman, but he's dead. He died.
You're up early, Bill.
Yes, been rescuing a party. Down there, Polish town there. They're froze to death. Got drunk. Laid out in the snowdrifts. Thought he was in bed when I shook him.
And there's Joe Kroll.
Morning, Allie. Morning, Mr. Warren.
Morning.
Children! Wally, Emily, time to get up.
Mama, I'm here. Oh, how young Mama looks.
You can come and dress by the kitchen fire if you like, but hurry.
Didn't know Mama was ever that young.
Good morning, Mr. Newsom. Oh, it's cold.
10 below by my barn.
Think of it. Keep yourself wrapped up.
Mama, I can't find my blue hair ribbon anywhere.
Well, then just open your eyes, dear, that's all. I laid it out for you special on the dresser there. If were a snake, it would bite you.
Yes, yes.
Good morning, Bill.
Morning, Mr. Webb. You're up early.
Yes, just been back to my old college in New York State. Had any trouble here?
I was called up early to rescue a fella, Polish fella, darn near froze himself to death.
Well, you must get it in the paper.
Oh, it wasn't bush. Nothing at all.
Good morning, Mother.
Well, how did it go, Charles?
Oh, fine, I guess. I told him a few things. Everything all right here?
Can't think of anything that's happened special. Been right cold. Howie Newsom says it's 10 below over to his barn.
Well, it's colder than that at Hamilton College. Students' ears are falling off. It ain't Christian. Would they ever have any mistakes in it?
None that I noticed. Coffee's ready when you want it. Charles, don't forget, it's Emily's birthday. You did remember to get her something, didn't you?
Yes, I've got something here. Where's my girl? Where's my birthday girl?
Don't interrupt her now, Charles. You can see her at breakfast. She's slow enough as it is. Hurry up, children. You'll be late for school. It's 7 o'clock. Now, I don't want to have to call you again.
I can't bear it. They're so young and beautiful. It all goes so fast. We don't have time to look at one another. Mama, I'm here. I'm grown up. I love you all, everything. I can't look at everything hard enough. Good morning, Mama.
Oh, well, a very happy birthday to my girl, and many happy returns. There are some surprises waiting for you on the kitchen table.
Oh, Mama, you shouldn't have. I can't.
But, birthday or no birthday, I want you to eat that breakfast good and slow. I want you to grow up and be a good, strong girl. That in the blue paper is from your Aunt Carrie, and I bet you can guess who brought that postcard album. George Gibbs. Must have come over in the cold pretty early. Right nice of him.
George, I'd forgotten about that.
Chew that bacon good and slow. It'll help keep you warm on a cold day.
Mama, just look at me for 1 minute as though you really see me. Mama, 14 years have gone by. I'm dead. You're a grandmother, Mama. I married George Gibbs, Mama. Wally's dead too, Mama. His appendix burst on a camping trip to North Conway. Don't you remember? We all felt terrible about it, but just for a moment we're all together. Just for a moment we're all happy. Let's look at one another.
And that in the yellow paper is something I found in the attic among your grandmother's things. You're old enough to wear it now, and I thought you'd like it.
Mama, it's just lovely, and it's just what I wanted. Thank you.
Well, I hoped you'd like it. Hunted all over. Your Aunt Nora couldn't find one like it in Concord, so I had to send all the way to Boston. Wally has something for you, too. He made it in manual training class, and he is very proud of it. Be sure to make a big fuss. Your father has a surprise for you, too. Don't know what it is myself. Oh, shh, here he comes.
Where's my girl? Where's my birthday girl?
I can't bear it. It all goes so fast. We don't have time to look at one another. So all that was going on, and we never even noticed. Take me back up the hill to my grave. But first, wait. One more look. Goodbye. Goodbye, world. Goodbye, Grover's Corners. Mama and Papa, and to clocks ticking and Mama's sunflowers. Goodbye to new iron dresses and hot baths and food and coffee and sleeping and waking up. Oh, world, you're too beautiful for anyone to realize you. Do any human beings ever realize life while they live it? Every minute?
No. The saints and poets, maybe. They do some.
I'm ready to go back.
Were you happy?
No. I should have listened to you. That's all human beings are, just blind people.
Look, sky's clearing up, stars are coming out.
Mr. Simpson, I should have listened to that.
Yes, now you know. Now you know. That's what it was to be alive. To move about in a cloud of ignorance. To go up and down, trampling on the feelings of those about you. To spend and waste time as though you had a million years. To be always at the mercy of one self-centered passion or another. Yes, now you know. That's the happy existence you wanted to go back to. Ignorance and blindness.
Simon Simpson, that ain't the whole truth, and you know it. Emily, look at that star. I forget its name.
My boy Joel was a sailor. Knew them all. He'd sit on the porch evenings and tell them all by name. Yes, sir, what? Stars mighty good company. Yes, it is.
Here's one of them coming.
That's funny. Tain't no time for one of them to be here.
Mother Gibbs, it's George.
Shh, dear, just rest yourself.
It's George.
And my boy Joel, who knew the stars. He used to say it took millions of years for that speck of light to get down to the earth. Don't seem like a body could believe it, but that's what he used to say. Millions of years. Goodness, that ain't no way to behave. He ought to be home.
Mother Gibbs,
Yes, Emily?
they just don't understand, do they?
No, dear, they don't understand.
Most everybody's asleep in Grover's Corners. Only a few lights on. Shorty Hawkins down at the depot is about to watch the Albany train go by, and at the livery stable, a few folks are setting up talking later than they should. Up in the sky, the stars are doing their old crisscross journeys. Scholars haven't settled the matter, but they seem to think there's no life up there. Only chalk and fire. Only this one's straining away all the while, trying to make something of itself. Strained so bad, every 16 hours, everyone has to lie down and have a rest. 11 o'clock in Grover's Corners. You have a good rest, too. Good night.